Hello everyone. In this video, I'm gonna say how to set your own sensitivity in PUBG Mobile and what will happen if you adjust the sensitivities in each categories. So like in the sensitivities, what will happen if you change the free look, the camera and the ADS and how what will happen if you change these things as well. Okay, let me just open a training session real quick. Yeah. So guys, if you like this video, please subscribe and like the video. So now let me just equip a gun real quick. I prefer M4. Oh, this is so noisy. Just a second. Okay. Okay. So guys, let's look at the first one. The camera sensitivity free look. Okay. So what is the third person camera? So let's. This is actually the. You see this eye icon here. This is the one. If we change the settings in the camera sensitive free look, the third person camera, this gets changed. So if you keep it 300, if you move slightly, it moves a lot. So let me just dump. Okay, I'll just stop the master. Where is the audio? Yep. Okay, so it's moving a lot. Let's change it to 1. So it moves barely. It barely moves. Yeah, you can. I think you can see the touch spots of me. Okay, so it barely moves. So I think it was 80. I'm setting it back to my own sensitivity. So what is this camera? This is actually the time period when you are landing, gliding down to the ground or buildings. So camera sensitivity is for the time when you are gliding, to be precise the time when you are on the plane to the time you land on the ground, buildings, containers, etc. Okay. So the first person camera is the FPPI icon. In the FPP mode, if you do this, the sensitivity for that thing. Okay. This guy is throwing a nade. Never mind. Okay, let's move to camera. This is very important. Okay, so camera, this one is only for the sensitivity when you're not shooting. When you're shooting, the sensitivity is the ADS sensitivity. Okay, so let me just collect some bullets. I forgot to do that. Hmm. So here, so if you make it 300 again before checking it, yep, 300. So if you move slightly, it moves a lot. But if you start shooting, it's normal. So if you are shooting, the ADS sensitivity comes into play. Okay, so here is the ADS sensitivity. So since the ADS sensitivity is 120, so you can see the difference. Okay, so I'll just make the ADS sensitivity to 1 so that you may see the difference clearly. So I made it to 1. So if you are not shooting, it's moving a lot. If you are shooting, it barely moves. Since it was reloading, it's barely moving. You see this? Okay. Uh, so so what again? So recapping it. So third person no scope is the camera position when you're not shooting. Okay, so the ADS sensitivity is when you're shooting. So guys, another advice from my side is that when you are copying some YouTubers or any good player sensitivity, you shouldn't do that actually. But when you're copying, make sure that it suits you by checking in the training session, by controlling the recoil here. And there's no need of actually copying anyone's. You can set your own sensitivity. That's why I made this video. Everyone has a different finger speed, their brain works differently, their phone is different, so don't copy. Okay, let's move to the ADS sensitivity. So red dot, let's just root trouble because I'm having that. Let's move to 300. So yeah, it's moving a lot. When you're shooting, it's not moving so much. Okay, so when you're shooting, the ADS sensitivity comes into play. Okay, I think the red dot was, wait a second, 60. So I'll just change it back so that that's my sensitivity. Okay, let me do the sensitivity. So it applies for everything. The 2x is the same way when you're not shooting and just scoping out. So I'll just make it clear. So in the red dot, if you're scoping and moving, it's a lot. Oh no, it's back to 60, right? So it's not moving. So 300. So it's moving a lot. When you're shooting, it won't move a lot because the ADS sensitivity comes into play. Okay. So, okay. Moving on to the gyro sensitivity stuff. I don't use gyro actually. I was actually a tablet player. So I just switched to phone. So I'm just practicing first to play without gyros, and maybe after some time I'll switch to gyro. Okay. The ammo is getting so. I'll just collect the. So looking at the gyro, there are two types of gyro, I think actually. Yeah, or no, not this one. Yeah, always on and scope on. Always on if you keep it, and if you keep always on, then only. Okay, this what was this? Just a second. This was 120. Okay. Yeah. If you keep, or what do I say? Saying, yeah. Just a second. I'm going to basic. Yeah. If you keep always on, where am I now? If you keep always on and go to the sensitivity of gyro, you see this. I'm keeping it at 300. I'm not touching anything, it's just too sensitive. So, these both, you see this one and this one. This only comes to play when you keep the gyro on, always on. If you keep on scope on, this I'm moving, but you can't see it. I'm actually moving, but you can't feel it. So when you scope in, you can see the gyro, but without scoping you can't use the gyro if you do it on always on. So now okay, so yeah, that's the same thing for red dot and stuff like that. See, red dot, that's the same thing for everything. So another important thing is like the sensitivity goes in decreasing order when the scope size is increasing. Okay, so you see here red dot 60, 2x 35, 3x. Actually 2x I don't use much, so I haven't set the perfect sensitivity. 3x is 35, 4x is 20, 6x is 14, 8x is 12. So it goes like that for the ADS sensitivity as well. So another important thing, I actually keep the ADS sensitivity and the camera sensitivity mostly the same thing, but not for the third person no scope, because I feel that while shooting I need to move the camera more faster when you're not shooting. Okay, that's all for the video. If you find this helpful, please like the video, and I think I'm thick of looking at the graphics session for the next video. Just let me know in the comment section if you are going to do this. What would you like to have it? Okay, have a nice day. Bye guys.